Today, we are cracking open an absolute masterpiece by Gabriel García Márquez, Love in the Time of Cholera. It's a truly epic story, one that stretches across an entire lifetime and really boils down to one huge central question.
So let's just start right there. Let me ask you, how long would you wait for what you believe is true love? A year? Maybe 5? Well, get ready, because this story is about a love that waited for over half a century.
So where does this all begin? Well, like so many great love stories, it starts with that fiery, intense, and of course, forbidden passion of youth. This is our first chapter, Youthful Love and the Vow.
So, picture this. You've got Florentino Ariza, a young, kind of poetic soul, and then you have Fermina Daza, who is beautiful and incredibly headstrong. Now, in their world, with its super strict social rules, they can't just go out on dates. So what do? They pour their entire hearts out to each other in hundreds and hundreds of passionate letters, basically building a whole world for just the two of them, all in secret.
But you know how these things go. A secret like that can't last forever. Fermina's father finds out about the romance, and he is absolutely furious. See, he's all about status and money, and he sees this poor, humble kid Florentino as completely unworthy of his daughter. So he forbids it and sends Fermina far, far away, hoping she'll just forget all about him.
But just before she's forced to leave, Florentino makes this just monumental promise. He looks at her and swears his eternal fidelity and everlasting love. And let me tell you, this isn't just some sweet, youthful promise. This one single vow ends up defining the entire rest of his life.
And that vow, well, it kicks off one of the most legendary tests of patience in all of literature. This next phase of the story is all about that incredible half-century wait. And we're not just talking about a few years here. We're talking about an entire lifetime. Just take a second and look at that number. 51 years, 9 months, and 4 days. That is the exact, precise amount of time Florentino Ariza waits to be with Fermina Daza again. Just try to imagine that. An entire life lived in the shadow of a promise made when he was just a boy.
This timeline really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? So, just a year after he makes this epic vow, his heart is completely shattered. Fermina, being practical and under a lot of pressure from her dad, marries the very wealthy and very distinguished Dr. Juvenal Urbino. Decades just fly by. Florentino keeps waiting, but as you're about to see, he waits in a pretty unconventional way. And then, finally, after more than half a century, fate steps in.
So what on earth happens during all those years? I mean, life doesn't just pause, right? That brings us to our third chapter, Lives Lived Apart, which is all about how these two people, who were once so in love, ended up on two completely different paths.
And wow, their lives could not have been more different. On one side, you've got Fermina. She chose the path of high society, a respectable marriage, and security. And on the other side, you have Florentino. His life is defined by poetry, his endless waiting, and, kind of paradoxically, 622 other love affairs. Yep, you heard me right.
So, Fermina's life, from the outside looking in, seems like a total success. She marries well, she becomes this important figure in her community, she raises a family, her marriage is long and it's stable, but it's missing that fire, that passion she knew when she was young. She basically convinces herself that all that stuff with Florentino was just foolishness, and she puts it behind her.
Okay, now Florentino's life, this is where things get complicated. He never marries. Instead, he dedicates himself to his job at the riverboat company and works his way up. But to deal with this constant ache in his heart, he has an incredible 622 affairs, which he writes down and documents. But here's the crucial part. In his own mind, this wasn't being unfaithful. He saw it as a way to keep his heart alive, to pass the time while he waited for its one true owner to return. So after 5 decades of these completely separate lives, fate finally intervenes. This brings us to the moment Florentino has been waiting for his entire life, the reunion. So how does it happen? Well, after a long and respected life, Fermina's husband doesn't die from some grand illness. Nope, he dies at age 81 by falling off a ladder while he was trying to catch his pet parrot. You can't make this stuff up. And just like that, after all these years, Fermina is a widow.
Florentino doesn't waste a single second. While the funeral is literally still happening, he walks right up to the grieving Fermina and he repeats the exact same vow of eternal fidelity and everlasting love that he made to her more than 50 years ago.
Now, as you can imagine, Fermina is absolutely furious.
The timing! She throws him out of her house. But Florentino, well, he's nothing if not patient. He starts writing to her again, just like they did when they were teenagers. And slowly, through the comfort and familiarity of those letters, the ice starts to melt. They start to find that connection they thought was lost forever.
And this slow rekindling leads to the absolutely beautiful, iconic ending of their story. In our final chapter, we get to the ship to eternity, where they finally get to live out their love on their own terms.
So now they're both elderly, they're frail, and they decide to take a trip together on one of the riverboats. And this isn't just a vacation, it's symbolic. It's them literally sailing away from society, from all the memories and judgments that kept them apart.
To get this final freedom, Florentino does something absolutely genius. He tells the ship's captain to raise the yellow flag, the international signal for an outbreak of cholera. I mean, think about the poetry of that. The very plague that haunted their entire era now becomes the symbol of their isolation, the thing that gives them the freedom to finally be alone and love each other without anyone interrupting.
And this all leads to the novel's breathtaking final lines. The captain, totally confused by their endless trip up and down the river, asks Florentino, "And how long do you think we can keep up this coming and going?" And Florentino's reply is so simple and so perfect. He just says, "For all of life." They've created their own private eternity on that ship.
So it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? After all that, a lifetime of waiting, was it worth it? Is Florentino's story this beautiful testament to a love that can endure anything? Or is it maybe a bit tragic, an obsession that cost him a whole lifetime? The book leaves us with that question, and so will I. Does true love really defy time?